What's going on, guys? Today we are taking a look at something I believe every studio should have, and that is a Subkick. Now, what exactly is a Subkick? A Subkick is a speaker cone that has been turned into a microphone. How do you do this? All it takes to turn a speaker cone into a Subkick is to wire it up so the signal is sent out rather than in. The way a speaker cone like this works is no different than a dynamic microphone. It has the magnets and the diaphragm inside. It's just a matter of whether the signal is going out or coming in. So as long as you have the tools to actually do the job, all you need to create a Subkick is three things: a speaker cone, a male XLR end, and wire. Granted, this is a lot more than you could ever need. I just have a lot of extra. If you have regular speaker wire like I do, it will have three conductive wires within it. There's the red, the black, and the shielding. Really all you need is the red and black. You can trim back the shielding, or you can wire it to whatever side the black is on. It doesn't matter that much in all reality. So the first thing you're gonna do is strip your wire. You don't need to go that far down. Just be very gentle with it while you're doing the outer portion. And then we can pull that off. Now sometimes you'll have a little piece of foil like this in here. This should tear fairly easily. You can just unwrap all the way around. And then you'll have these three wires. You'll have the red, the black, and then the grounding. You're really only going to be using the red and black, but we're soldering the XLR side, so we'll do this one first. Now before you go any further, it's a lot easier to get this on before you do any more stripping. You have this back portion of the XLR that screws on and off. You're going to feed the XLR cable through it and let it slide down for now. After that, you can strip the other two remaining wires. And a really good trick to help you keep neat solders is to twist the ends of each wire together, because it's made up of multiple fibers within each of these. Once you've twisted those together, put this on a little clamp or something to hold it. Then you're gonna do what is referred to as tinning. That's when you take the solder and solder the end of these cables. This then gives it a hard point to make it a lot easier to maneuver and get placed onto the actual solder joints later. After you've tinned all of the cables, you can pull out the actual solder point of your XLR. So there are the 3 points of connection on the XLR tip. There is the 1 pin, the 2 pin, and the 3 pin. If you look very closely on the back of your XLR, it should have a tiny number indicating which pin is which. But in case yours is missing it, looking at it from the back, it goes 1, 2, 3. And the most common way to do it is the shielding goes on 1, because that's your grounding. 2 is the red signal, and then 3 is the black signal. So normally it goes grounding, positive, negative. Now, it makes it really easy to solder these because it has a little bit of a cup, but you have to flip it upside down. So make sure you remember which one is which. So it's now going to be 1 is on the far side, 2 is on the close side, and then 3 is on the top. This handy little clamp makes it really easy to get any soldering done. One thing I do to help with the solders is I will position the wires into the layout that they are going to need to be soldered into place. So the red is going to be on this side on the 2, the ground is going to be on this side on the 1, and then the black is going to be on 3 on the very top. So I bend the wires into those positions. Now what I like to do is put a little puddle of solder in on the solder joint. That makes it really easy to get everything in place. So now all you have to do is press the wire down on the solder joint. Hold the cable there until the solder solidifies, and repeat the process with the other 2 joints. Then once you have those in place, you can take it off your little clamp if you have one, slide the screw portion up, and put this clamp
on the cable. And slide that up. And then comes a little bit of a tricky part. You just have to make sure that you line up the covering case so that it slides down evenly all the way across. And then slide up the back portion and screw it on. And that's how you get the XLR end. Now you can make this yourself, or you could always just take an XLR, cut it off, and use it right on the end of the Subkick. After that, cut the cable and put all that extra cable aside. Now you have this XLR with a little bit of cabling. Now again, you're going to strip this back a little bit. Take off this foil covering, and you have the 3 joints again. Now what I do, since you don't really need the grounding, you could always put it on the negative signal, but if I can, I try to avoid it altogether, and I just simply snip off at the very tip. After that, you're gonna pull out your speaker cone and you're gonna recognize which of the 2 pegs on it are positive and negative. Now, like I said earlier, black represents the negative signal and red represents the positive signal. And since we have to flip them to create the Subkick, we're going to put black on the positive and red on the negative. It's really easy to wire these up if you have a tiny hole in here, because then you can take the wire and just put a tiny little bend in it, and you can hook it on and just put the solder directly to that so it holds itself in place. And do the same thing on the other side. And that's all there is to it. Now you have a Subkick. The trickiest part about making your own Subkick is having a mount for it. I've seen a lot of people will use snare stands that screw down and can clamp on the edges to hold on to it while it's up against the kick. I've seen people get small toms, whether it be like a small rack tom, depending on the speaker cone size, and they will mount it inside that cylindrical case. A cylinder case is a great way to use it. If you saw my old one, you saw that it has a lot of zip ties, and I will zip tie it to tiny mic stands that I have, and it kind of works even though it's not ideal, but it's just an idea. Now all that's left to do is test the one we just made. But that's all it takes to create a Subkick. It is a cost-effective way to improve your drum recordings. Let me know if this helped you guys out. If you like this video, leave a like and comment down below. I would love to do more videos like this where I go into the soldering and the building and fixing portion of audio. This is something that I really enjoy doing. I love spending time soldering cables together, fixing things, taking something that was broken and making it work again, and repurposing old equipment. It's a great way to grow your knowledge as an audio engineer. But thank you guys so much for watching.